All right, we're doing the top 10 worst Tom Brady losses. It's the most devastating Tom Brady losses. So the way I'm viewing this is if I was Tom Brady, the ones I would be most devastated by. So a couple of honorable mentions. We have a couple of early season blowouts to the Chiefs. You know, the famous we're on the Cincinnati game after they got crushed by the Chiefs, and Trent Dilfer said that the Patriots just aren't that good anymore, and then they won like 3 more Super Bowls. You know, the week 1 blowout when Alex Smith went off, and I believe that was 2017, coming off of a Super Bowl. Many people felt like the Patriots might go 16-0. They were getting some of that hype, so to get crushed week 1, you know, again, but those are week 1 losses, not the end of the world. The divisional loss to the Broncos, which was Brady's first loss in the playoffs after winning 3 straight Super Bowls. You know, missed the playoffs 1 year and then, you know, did not lose until 2005. And finally, I also have the Confrence Championship game lost to the Broncos in 2013, the year that the Broncos would then get crushed by the Seahawks. That one was tough as well, but Brady's made the playoffs a lot, meaning he's lost a lot in the playoffs. All 10 of these are going to be playoff losses. Let's get into the list. Number 10, I have the Conference Championship game lost to the Broncos in 2015. If you remember, this was the, you know, fantastic Broncos defense that seemingly shut down everybody, including that Patriots team. I mean, they really struggled to get much going. And this was also, you know, Steven Gostkowski missing an extra point, which then put them down 8 instead of 7. So when Brady did get that touchdown to Gronkowski late in the game, it wasn't able to tie it. It was only able to put them within 2, and then they did not get the 2-point conversion. And because of that, they lost the game. So definitely tough, losing to Peyton Manning, who is still Brady's biggest rival. I think even though the Brady-Rodgers stuff is kind of surfaced late in his career, I think over the course of his career, clearly the Manning, you know, I guess Manning brothers and Brady rivalry would probably be the biggest one. So letting Peyton Manning go to the Super Bowl, which he would then go on to win, I think also added some sting there. Number 9, this is the wild card loss to the Ravens. And I think some people might forget, there was a stretch where Brady was, you know, the Patriots kind of seemed like they were sort of not doing too well and weren't a great playoff team almost for a small stretch of this, you know, in the middle of this incredible run. You think about they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl in their, you know, in a game that will certainly get brought up later on in 2007, missed the playoffs in 2008 because of, you know, Brady's injury. And then this time they get crushed by the Ravens. They lost 33-14. Brady was not spectacular in this game. It was horrible weather. This was the Ray Rice game where he went off. So that's kind of, you know, the main thing that happened there, but definitely one of the more miserable looking games to watch. Also, this was the long hair Brady game. The long hair in Brady, that's the most devastating thing that Brady's gone through, I think. It's just having that long hair. So good that that's no longer there. Number 8, we have the divisional round loss to the New York Jets. The New York Jets divisional round loss in 2010. This was the can't wait game where, again, this was kind of in that stretch of the Patriots now. You know, this is the 3rd straight playoff game that they would lose and the 3rd straight year that they would go without a playoff win. So all of that stuff combined, that was tough. It was a relatively close game throughout this, but it, you know, at the end of the day, they were not able to get it done, and that's kind of, again, one of those just weird things of how do you lose to the Jets in the playoffs? Like, how did you let this happen? The Jets were very good that year, but still, the Patriots were the better team, and, you know, in Foxborough, Mark Sanchez comes to town and is able to get the job done. So definitely a devastating loss. Number 7, we have the Conference Championship game loss to the Ravens. Another one of these losses where the actual loss itself wasn't that devastating. Like, the game itself for each of these weren't that devastating. I think one thing that probably stings with this one a little bit more is chance to go to the Super Bowl, and I feel like you probably would have won the Super Bowl against San Francisco. I feel like the Patriots were the best team in football that year, and, you know, they just weren't able to get it done. The Ravens are very good too. The 49ers are very good too. Who knows what happens, but in a weak year, it, you know, definitely was a tough loss, but also, you know, the previous year you only beat the Ravens due to a missed field goal, so maybe that takes the sting out of it a little bit. Number 6, it is the one game on this list that is with Brady as a Buccaneer. It's also the one game on this list I was at, unfortunately, as a Buccaneers fan. But, you know, it was a definitely a tough loss. Them losing to the Rams this past year. He has 7 Super Bowl rings. You don't feel that bad for him. But the game itself was completely devastating. The game itself was, you know, a completely devastating script of they're getting crushed all game. There's this miraculous comeback. It lets them tie the game only for in the final seconds for their hearts to get ripped out. Stupid Cooper Kupp, who I will never forgive, makes that incredible play. So it's not too devastating simply because of all, you know, he just won a Super Bowl the year before. He's won 7, but the game itself and the fact that the Rams would go on to win the Super Bowl makes it more devastating. Number 5, this was Brady's last game as a Patriot. The wildcard loss to the Titans in 2019. This was devastating for that reason, because he went out not with a bang but with a whimper with the Patriots, and the Patriots said, yeah, we're good. We're gonna, we can figure it out. We'll get Cam Newton. We'll be all right. And so, Brady looked like he was washed up. I think everyone thought that this was it for Brady. He was done. Worked out for him. Goes to Tampa Bay, wins the Super Bowl. But at the time, I mean, this felt like it was over for Brady. Brady didn't play great in this game, and he ended it with a pick 6. That was his last pass as the Patriots. So brutal loss. Number 4, another brutal loss, and another one where he deserves blame for this one. Like, he screwed up in the final drive, threw an interception that allowed them to lose. This was a big comeback from the Colts in 2006. It's the height of the Brady versus Manning rivalry, and kind of the one thing that Brady had going for Manning over Manning at that period of time was Manning was the better regular season quarterback, but Brady was the guy who was winning in the playoffs and was performing better in the playoffs. So for him to get outplayed by Peyton Manning, the Colts would go on to win the Super Bowl. Another devastating loss at the hands of a Manning brother, and trust me, we're just getting started on those. Number 3, there's a typo in the title. Sorry about that. The Super Bowl loss to the Eagles in 2017. I think I copy and pasted that and forgot to cut out the Giants is what happened there. So whatever, we'll leave it in. Why not? Super Bowl loss to the Eagles in 2017. This was the Brady 500-yard game. If Brady hit that Hail Mary at the end, he would have actually set the record for most passing yards in a single game, which is crazy. And despite that, they still were not able to win. Well, some of these losses were because Brady did not play particularly well. Some of them are not, and this one is definitely one that I would categorize in the not category. You can maybe put some blame on the fumble, but I don't know. Sometimes you fumble. Like, that's not one that I would really put too much blame on him for. I think it's more so that just the defense could not stop anything, and maybe Matt Patricia is not the genius that we might think he is. Number 2, the Super Bowl loss to the Giants in 2011. We know what's number 1. They had already lost to the Giants earlier in that 18-1 year, a chance for redemption only to fall just short again in an eerily similar game. Definitely devastating, but I'm going to go to number 1 and kind of talk about them together. I mean, number 1, this 2007 loss is one of the most devastating losses anyone has had to go through of all time. I think the fact that they were so close to accomplishing the impossible and were just not quite able to do that is brutal. I mean, that's just absolutely brutal, and it's one that I feel like Brady, I don't notice for a fact, but I just remember when they lost to the Rams in the regular season this past year, there was a look of Brady that just it seemed like it was harsher than just one loss. I felt like he wanted to go undefeated. He wants that undefeated thing. That's what motivates him, is because they were so close to accomplishing the impossible, only to in the final minute have that taken away due to a helmet catch, right? And also due to, they should have put more points on the board earlier on. I think Brady did not have his best game in that one as well, which I'm sure, eats up at him. I think if you could tell Brady either number 2 through 10 on this list would all be overturned and you win those, or just number 1 on this list is overturned and you win that, he probably chooses that one, I think. But that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.